out there, it's me, Eloise, and today's video is brought to you by the letter E for event, as in author event. On June 15th, I went to my very first author event. This is going to be something of a vlog style video with a bunch of clips that I took on the day of the event. And then after we have those clips, we'll come back here and kind of debrief and discuss things I've learned, things that I would do different, and just my experience as a whole. So let's hop back in time to June 15th and see what Eloise has to say. So it's about 1:30 in the afternoon on Saturday, June 15th, and I have just spent the last couple hours playing Minecraft with my son, which was really fun, but I lost track of time. So now I need to make him lunch really quick and then start getting ready for my author event. As you can see, I'm not really put together right now, so I need to get cleaned up, ready for the event. I need to gather up the things that I have assembled for my table. This is the first time I'm going to be putting together my author table, so I'm very excited and kind of nervous and eager to see what everybody thinks. We have about an hour and 15 minutes until I need to head down to Enumclaw, which is where the event is going to be, so let's go. I'm back. Cut to about 15 minutes later, my kid is fed, makeup is done, hair is as good as we're gonna get. I've decided to wear a linen shirt to prevent me from getting too hot. Goodness knows I get kind of sweaty when I get nervous. I did have a friend ask me if I was nervous or excited or both. And honestly, I'm just excited. I've never really been the kind of person to be afraid to put myself out there, to meet new people, and to make a fool of myself in public. Not that I plan on doing any of that, but that kind of translates to being anxious when talking about one's self, being afraid to be foolish in the eyes of other people, caring about what other people think. And while I do care to a certain extent, at the same time, none of these people are going to care about me as much as I care about me. I am going to remember all of the embarrassing things that I've done in my life much easier than anyone else remembering. So I'm mainly excited. Getting some bronze to go with my ancient Greek aesthetic. This is obviously the thing that I should be prioritizing when I only have half an hour before I need to leave. I need to wait until my husband gets home anyway before I can leave because he's going to be hanging out with the kiddo while I'm at the event. The event runs from 4 to 8, but I was instructed to get there at 3, which means I need to leave here around 2:30. So as I'm looking at my nails, even though I'm proud of the job that I've done, I don't like them. This nail polish is just so much flashier than the nude color that I had on before, which didn't draw attention to it. And I'm looking at it and I'm seeing all of the imperfections, and I am reminded that I am my own worst critic. I don't have time to change this nail polish again, but I hate it. I can see every single little imperfection. Instead of getting upset about it, I am taking a moment to remind myself that nobody else cares and that it's okay to not have perfection. Much like a book, you, the author, are going to be the one seeing all of those imperfections and criticizing yourself the most. I haven't always been good at that. I haven't always been good at accepting the fact that not everything's going to be perfect, and sometimes you just have to be okay with good enough, and you have to remind yourself that you're the only one that cares. Nobody else cares. And sometimes it's important that you're the only one that cares. Put my clear coat on. Now I'm gonna wait for that to dry, and then I will be gathering up the things to load into my truck. It is pouring outside, and it just started doing that as I was trying to load up the car with all of my stuff. I haven't seen rain this bad since driving through Georgia. This is crazy. It is 1 minute to 3 o'clock. I am not yet to downtown Enumclaw, and I am now nervous because, fun fact, both of my parents were career naval officers, and I was therefore raised under the concept of if you're not 15 minutes early, you're late. If you're on time, you're even later. And if you're late, why did you even bother showing up? The fact that the owner of the Dusty Shelf asked me to be at the bookstore at 3, I still need to run by Walgreens and pick up a photo for my display. My inner voice is screaming at me right now and is very upset with me for being late. I guarantee you he is not going to care if I am 5 minutes late, especially because of this weather. Everybody has been driving really slow because that's what you need to do in this kind of weather to stay safe, so that's fine. I've also been driving slow. Just some, inner conflict going on. What other opportunities for personal growth are we going to get today? Who knows? Stay tuned. Of course, as soon as I pull into the parking lot, it starts hailing again. We are prepared. I have my rain boots on. We're gonna get in, get out, and get back to the mission. Complete the mission. Mission successful, but the lights flickered when I was waiting to check out. We need better energy. So the bookstore's just like a block away, so I just need to find a place to park and then ferry all my stuff inside. As I told myself, there was nothing for me to worry about being late because I am actually the second author to show up. We're still setting up, so there was literally nothing for me to worry about. I'm dumb. I didn't realize that there was going to be 20 local authors here, which is amazing, and I'm over here. Still need to clean it all up, but it's gonna be great. We're gonna be fine. I've got a veteran here already, and she's giving me encouragement, and she's lovely. So we're gonna do some magical transition. Ta-da! It's all set up. Look at how fancy. Okay, so there's more authors showing up, so I'm not gonna be that weird person talking to my phone. Wish me luck. I'm really glad I wore a linen shirt because it's already hot. It is 10 o'clock. I am on my way home from my very first author event. I sold 7 copies of my book and left 2 with the bookstore. It was great. I'll tell you more about it when I have some better lighting, but I just wanted to share my initial reaction of coming home and it's so cool. I don't have words. All right, let's go drive home. I'll talk to you later. I've been reflecting a lot on that event since then. One of the things that I learned ahead of this event from some other author tubers is that if you are able to sell 15 books at your event, you have knocked it out of the park. So I kept my expectations very low, hoping to maybe sell 5 copies. So when I sold 7 during the event and then had the bookstore decide to buy 2 more to put on the shelf, I was thrilled. To me, that was a great success. But even if I hadn't sold any books, I would call it a success because of the amount of amazing authors that I was able to meet and interact with. There were so many authors there. I think there were about 15. I want to share with you my observations and lessons that I've kind of learned in the order that they occurred. So the first thing I learned when I arrived there was to get yourself a collapsible wagon. I had to take 3 different trips to and from my car to get all of my stuff into the event venue. I do not recommend doing that. Before I went to bed that night after the event, I was on Amazon finding that wagon and I bought it, and it is now in my garage ready to go for the next time. Second tip is to not bring so much crap. Author J.M. Seeley has a really great video on all of the essentials for an author event that I am going to link like right here if I can, or somewhere on the screen, and also in the description down below. He's a pro and I completely agree with everything that he has to say. One of the things that I learned from my own experience is I brought too much stuff. I brought too many copies of the books too. You don't need to bring 100 copies of your book. The third takeaway from this event is to self-advocate. So when I showed up to the event, there were going to be 15 to 20 authors in the space. And since I was early, I was able to kind of scope out. We had our names on all of the tables, and I saw that I was kind of tucked back into a corner. And I knew with the way that the tables were originally set up, it was going to be difficult for people to approach me in my half of a table in a corner, like an L. Like I was on the corner of the L. I know people with social anxiety or people pleasers or non-confrontational people might have a problem with this, but it is so important for you to self-advocate. So I very kindly said, hey, is this assigned seating for a reason? Can I potentially move? Can I move the table a little bit? And the owner came in and he saw how everything was set up, and it was funny because the author that I was supposed to share the table with, he said, oh, she needs an outlet. She had an accessory that she needed to plug in, and he was familiar with what her needs were. So he actually moved her to a completely different table. I ended up getting the whole table, which worked out really great for me. It was awesome. I was right at the end of the room, so when everybody was walking in, they saw me, and there were all the authors, and then like I was at the end. So even though I was furthest from the entrance, they had a really good view of my table, I guess you could say. The fourth takeaway from my author event is to make friends with your neighbors. I quickly became acquainted with the two authors to my left and my right. They were wonderful, lovely women. I took some time to go around when it was slower and meet everyone. There are so many talented people in my area, I could not believe it. Fifth takeaway from the event is be prepared for ebbs and flows. I would say to do some research about the event before you go to it, but be prepared to be sitting at your table, but like looking friendly and approachable. That's one of the most draining things, I guess, about an author event is being prepared to engage and sell your book and talk to people, but then there's that downtime where you aren't actively selling your book, but you don't want to be like, yeah, come and see this book, it's great, get on over here. So, but you're sitting there, but you're still like making eye contact, but not intense eye contact, and you're like looking friendly, but you're bored out of your mind, or you have to go to the bathroom, or you're hungry. So bring snacks, bring water, make friends with the people around you if you're there by yourself, because if you need to go to the bathroom halfway through, you kind of want someone to be able to say, hey, I need to go to the bathroom, can you watch my stuff and help me out here? Number 6 is kind of obvious. Have your elevator pitch memorized. Be prepared to talk about your book. Be able to sell the person on it. Be able to have that engaging conversation. If you have horrible, crippling social anxiety, author events may not be for you, and that's okay. If you want to sell your books, put yourself out there, engage with your reader, ask them questions, say hi if people look at you from across the room. If they look at you and you smile and wave, they might come over and talk to you, and then you can maybe sell a book. Number 7 is to have some sort of business card that potential buyers can take if they're not yet ready to make that purchase. So I have these bookmarks that have the name on the back, and this QR code takes you to my link tree. So I don't have to change this at all, but I can change all the links that I want when things change, you know? I had a whole bunch of these bookmarks that people could take if they wanted to, if they were interested but wanted to learn more, or if they didn't necessarily have the cash or didn't feel like buying it, or maybe they wanted to buy the ebook, something like that. Have your name on it so they're not having to like take the picture of your book. So those were all my key takeaways from my author event. If you're an author, have you done an author event before? Tell me about it down below and the lessons that you've learned so we can share with other authors. And if you're a reader, what is one thing that makes a book or an author stand out at an author event for you? That's all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for watching. If you've made it this far, you're one of my favorite people. Until next time, take care. Bye.
Do you like writing? Yes, I like writing. Do you like mythology? Yes, I like mythology. Do you like my videos? Yes, I like your videos. Then what are you waiting for? Subscribe.